Hey Sharks, I'm Mark Hertzberger.
And I'm Chang Koo, and we are from the mile-high city of Denver, and we are here to talk about
The Hype Company.
Sharks. Have you ever noticed how stale fan gear has become? It's the same old product with just a different sticker for each team.
We want more. We want more.
Like, hold on,
That's
man.
right. We want more than
Fanatics.
uninspiring and boring designs out there.
We're in the process of disrupting the footwear industry and changing the way the consumers engage with their footwear choices.
And we started with the OG. And yes, I am talking about the oldest footwear known to humankind, dating back 10,000 years ago. And yes, I am talking about the slide.
Sharks, imagine it's Saturday morning.
Mark is already
You're off
out.
to watch your favorite college football team get the W. Of course, you're rocking your favorite team's slides. But then Sunday morning rolls around. It's time to change out the straps. Maybe you're off to play in your very own over 30 soccer league, or you're heading to watch your kids play some Little League. Either way, change out the straps. You're good to go. Not into
That's actually
sports?
not a bad
No
idea.
problem. You can do any custom design that you want and change your shoes to what you want to hype that day.
And with over 30 plus years between Mark and I in the footwear industry, we were able to bring you a super soft, flexible, long-lasting, durable outsole and a sleek silhouette and infinite design choices.
We're seeking $125,000 for 5% of the Hype Company. There's only one question that remains.
Are you ready to get hyped?
Sharks, in front of you, we've got a couple different
We are back with another Shark Tank breakdown episode. I'm your host, Dave, an almost 10-year intellectual property attorney that deals with everything from trademarks, patents, copyrights, and so much more. Now, look I don't watch these things ahead of time, so I know I had just did one on with the hat guy. I forget the name of it. Hooch, I think is the trademark term at least, but it was like, it was, pretty straightforward. Luxury hat, whatever the case may be. And as I'm recording this one, I'm like, are we just essentially kind of plastering the name on a college team, NFL team on some slides? This is going to be another long one. But they did have a twist and turn to it in terms of having this detachable strap. Now, obviously, as a patent attorney, I'm not. That's nothing new. That's not going to get over the hump from a patent perspective, I would imagine. Lawyer typically asks about patents, and I would imagine that there's nothing new about that, just kind of based on what I know. But we'll see what happens. Maybe they have something. It seems like the actual term that they hype they're using it as a trademark term, and we'll look at the website afterwards and kind of see what's going on with the website. But the three things that I typically look for to see whether or not this thing, a company or a product has the potential to kind of go through the roof is how simple is it? Seems like it's pretty simple. Some slides. These guys have 30 years of experience in the footwear industry, so I would imagine that they can produce a quality slide or a quality shoe or slide in this case. How effective is it? Again, I would actually buy one now. I'm not that big on making sure I'm representing different teams in that way to the point where I need to go buy one. But if I had you guys don't see it, but Spears Enterprise, my company, and I can kind of switch back or between maybe another company I own, I will buy that slide, and if I can customize it so that I can put my company's name on it and be able to kind of switch it out, I think that'd be something that I'll be interested in. So again, it's simple, it's effective, and as it relates to the market, obviously we know a lot of slides are out there. So I'll probably say the market overall in terms of the foot industry, that's I would say saturated. Now, whether or not you can I guess the attachable kind of slide is out there in terms of what they're doing, that market may not be as crowded, but man, it'd be interesting to see how they're going to break through. Obviously, I would imagine Kevin and the other guys are going to ask them what their sales are looking like. Again, it seems like everybody has $1 million company these days, but again, if their sales are kind of confirming that, then that's great. I think this is going to be an interesting one. I think they're going to have another uphill battle with things, just kind of based off of just not the uniqueness of the product, but I guess I've seen crazier things happen. So let's go and see how they fare.
different samples. We've done a personalized sample for each of you. We've also got a custom Shark Tank slide.
Yeah, I would like
and
a
we've got
custom slide.
some
I can
dollar
see you
bills since
doing
we are
that.
here talking about money after all.
So how do you sell these today? Are these direct to consumer? Do you sell them through other retailers? Tell me the business model.
So at the moment, we've got them direct consumer on the website. We are working through wholesale as well. We've also got drop ship on Fanatics, Finish Line, and Target.
Okay.
I didn't hear the other two retailers. Who are the other?
Yeah, but it's just Fanatics.
You don't wear socks with them.
They feel like slides.
They feel great.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
They're comfortable
slides,
slides. They're
man.
comfortable
Okay,
slides.
so do you have a patent?
We do. We have
Wow.
a utility patent that was granted to us last year in Q4.
And what is it for?
Nice.
What is it for?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I
this
want to know.
utility patent, it covers everything. You know, I've been designing shoes for decades.
Look it. That's, hey, this is going to get interesting. As a patent attorney, when you start talking about patents, utility patent, design patents, hey, now my ears perk up. And as I talked about, I think it was a couple videos ago where the gentleman with the vending machines, I think Robo Burgers, he talked about they had 4 patents, but he wasn't able to describe clearly in concise terms what their patent covers. That's a big no-no for me. When I hear this thing covers everything, that's a red flag for me. No patent covers everything. It's a ton of products out there in the shoe industry and detachable, Velcro or whatever, detachable, I guess the top, I'm not sure exactly what that top portion is called. So the fact that he's saying it covers everything, it's a ton of shoe patents out there. So that's a red flag for me. I would imagine for Lori and Mark and the others, hearing that it covers everything, that's I would imagine that's a red flag for them. So again, I'm gonna say the same thing that I said in that previous video with the Robo Burgers. Make sure when you have a patent, it's good to be able to say, do you have a patent on that? And I know Lori seems like she's the patent queen with Shark Tank, so she normally asks. But you as an entrepreneur, you as an inventor, you have to be able to clearly describe, especially to investors, what specifically your patent covers. No patent covers everything. So in this case, I'd be interested to see what he says that it covers, but it doesn't cover everything. And to be able to explain exactly what the patent covers, I think comes off as knowledgeable to the sharks. And I think it's going to get you a longer way as opposed to trying to kind of convince the sharks that you have this broad patent that's going to cover everything under the sun, which is just not the case. You can still have a valuable patent with teeth, and it doesn't cover everything under the sun, but just being able to convey and communicate and describe in clear and concise terms to the investors, and in this case, the sharks, I think that's going to go a long way. And again, him saying that it covers everything, to me as a patent attorney, that already is a red flag. So let me know what you guys just think, but hey, my ear definitely perked up on that one. Let's see what he says, everything that it covers.
And we saw that during COVID, there was this really big hiccup that everyone had in supply chain. Everyone's been waiting for their footwear forever. So what we ended up doing was separating the two components so that they can be shipped separately.
Clever.
You can have bases and you can have straps. And so the patent really covers the idea that two components come together to create an adjustable slide.
We know nothing about you, so I'd love to know about your background.
So I was born to immigrant parents that came over here. They were the first Hmong entrepreneurs in the restaurant business. So I grew up at a young age seeing the sweat and tears of my parents. And then I went to school at Georgia Tech. I went for industrial design. I spent the next 20 years working for huge brands such as Fila, Adidas, Crocs, People Footwear, and Keen.
I started at Crocs as well. I was there for 10 years in the finance group and focused on supply chain and value chain analysis.
So guys, where are you from a sales perspective? Give me the history of the business.
Sure. So in the last 4 years, we've done just over $500,000 of sales. That was on our original product on the Slider. We're now pivoting to the Slider Pro, which allows us to really scale this business.
And what is the difference between Original and Slider Pro?
The original product over here is just a full normal piece of footwear. It's not the two components that are separable.
Where are you so far year to date?
Year to date's $60,000.
60,000? What were last year's sales? Just last year.
Yeah, last year was not a great year for us. It was only $55,000 in sales, mainly because we were...
Okay, so you're reinventing the company with this new modified strategy.
Yep.
Real issue you haven't discussed yet is what's your customer acquisition cost going to be versus their lifetime value?
Yeah, so we have done a little bit of marketing. It's worked, but we don't have a ton of customer acquisition costs in this product yet just because we haven't started that.
How do you convince us that this is actually a big business, one that's worth investing in?
Sure. So this year we're going to expand our licenses by 20 to 30 licenses just in the NCAA space alone.
We've
now got the ability to turn on esports, gaming, lifestyle product.
I'm still not convinced this is a big business or one that's worth investing in. That's what I think I need to be convinced of.
Yeah, and there's a part to this where you don't have to just do licensed product, right? There's more slides on the street than ever before, and people are looking for personalization and personalized slides.
And can I personalize it online myself as a consumer?
On our website.
I could put my grandchild on each of my feet if I wanted
absolutely
to.
can. Your
That's
grandchild.
the right business model.
Yeah.
And that's where we're heading as well.
So do we cover what it costs you in total to make one and what you sell them for?
We retail them for $60 a piece. They wholesale
not
for
bad.
$30. The cost is $10.93 a pair.
Is that the typical price of a slide?
That seems pretty high to me.
So
I
you
don't think
guys,
that's
I'll
that
tell you
bad.
what I think. I'd like to be in markets where there isn't as much competition with the same kind of product. I wish you good luck, but I'm out.
Appreciate that.
Okay, you're very credible, both of you. What's missing in the presentation, which really matters for a direct consumer business, you gotta know your customer acquisition cost. You're missing that ingredient. I'm sorry, guys, I'm out.
You guys, look, one of the challenges I think businesses that pivot have is truly knowing what business you're in. You're not in the slides business.
Yep, I
You're in
agree
the
with that.
customization
Yep,
business in
I
a lot
agree
of
with that.
respects. But you're trying to go out there and do licensing deals because that's what you've always done.
Right.
And you're still just in the slides business. And I don't want to be in the slides business. So for those reasons, I'm out.
Thanks, Mark.
I think Mark brings up a good point, and man, hopefully I try to, when I look at these Shark Tank episodes, I really try to learn not only from the sharks because they have amazing experience and have made a ton of money, but just learn also from the pitches. And I think again, Mark brings up a great point in terms of understanding what business you're in. They talked about licensing and obviously customizing, which I think is a big thing. Like I said, I'll definitely get customizable slides, but then it seems like, and that's okay for your utility patent to be on the actual physical product. And it seems like the customizable aspect of it, I mean, I guess it goes hand in hand, at least in my opinion, with, okay, since the fact that you have this upper portion of the slide that's detachable, it allows you to kind of more so customize it. But then that's selling the actual product. That's selling a slide. But then you're talking about licensing things to the NCAA and to this person and that person, that company, which is two separate things. So it's almost like, okay, what are you doing? And as an investor, like these guys as experienced investors, when you're kind of all over the place like that, it can almost be like, man, what's going on? I kind of wanted to be focused. And then, okay, we want to expand the product line into licensing or whatever the case may be 5-10 years from now, which when we have established what we're doing, the main thing, then that's cool. But when you're trying to do kind of everything from the beginning, it's almost like a red flag to like experienced investors. And that's one of the things. So I have a few businesses and, at startups and whatnot. And that's something that I'm kind of learning as far as, hey, if you are trying to expand too fast and kind of have all this stuff going on and it's kind of tough to follow or maybe get with because you're not focused, I can see that turning like experienced investors off who want to kind of focus on the main product. And then, okay, if you want to expand 5-10 years down the line, that's cool. But let's keep the main thing and kind of grow that. And it seems like these guys are maybe selling slides and the strap. And I guess that's what I call it, a strap with the slide. But then they're also talking about licensing. Man, it's almost a lot going on. But man, I don't know. Let's see what the other sharks say. It seems like at least a few of the sharks are out. Let's see what the other sharks say and then kind of wrap this one up.
Look, I like you guys, and I think you have a chance of building a successful small to medium business.
Yep.
But for me, I just don't think it's a big enough opportunity. So for that reason, I'm out.
Until I said this on the last one, until Mike Rubin's point, you can still make a lot of money as a small to medium business. You can still make $600,000-$700,000. Heck, you may get to the $1 million mark, but you may just not make millions of dollars, make millions of dollars on your product, which is cool. Everybody's not going to make millions of dollars. The next one may be a bigger hit. If this is your first go around, which it seems like these guys first go around, you have a utility patent, so it's protectable, and you can ride this thing out $600,000-$700,000, $800,000 a year for the next 20 years. That's and kind of build that brand up. And that's still good as a small to medium sized business. That's life changing money, in my opinion. I think that's more money than what they said. The average person makes $50,000 going to sweat away 40-50 hours a week at a plant and or at a job and doing that for $40,000-$50,000, heck, maybe $100,000. So to the extent that you can make $600,000-$800,000 on your business as a small to medium sized business, I still think that's good money. I know a lot of times the sharks, and which makes sense. If you're investing, you want to invest in something that's going to 6, 7x, 10x maybe your money. So if you're investing $100,000, I want to be able to potentially make $1 million or at least $400 or $500 going further down the line. And that's from an investor standpoint. But as you as an entrepreneur, just because you can't see those type of returns for investors, you still can have a business that makes good money. So I mean, that's, again, I wanted to kind of bring that up because I think Mike Rubin brings up a good point as far as, hey, you guys can still be successful with having a niche product or having a product that's, again, a smaller mid-size business, but not a big business, and that's okay. And I think I'm okay with that. Let's just stop there. I think I'm okay with that. And I think more people need to be okay with that as opposed to saying, okay, I need to always make $1 million off this particular business. So let's go see what the other sharks say, but it seems like it's so far not looking good for these guys.
Get that?
I think the good play here is direct to the consumer,
For
that I
sure.
could customize my shoes.
Of course.
And I think you could have a blast in social media because of the
I like
aspect
that,
of
yeah.
switching the tops.
Sure.
I think I could just see creatively in my mind it being a lot of fun and not spending a lot of money, but getting a lot of traction, a lot of followers.
We got a lot
Are
of
you going to
traction.
make an offer, Barb?
Yeah, I am going to make an
Nice.
offer to a restaurant. I want to spend an hour. Here we go. I'm going to
Nice.
give you 125, but I want 25% of the business.
Huh. Order up.
And I'm going to give you half of it in cash and half of it in credit line. What do you think about that?
Okay.
And I am the only one giving you an offer
Very
today, by the way.
sharky.
Really appreciate that offer, and we are fine with the equity portion of that. We know that you can bring that kind of value to this company.
Want the
Be
125
curious
straight
if
up.
you would be willing to come up a little bit in cash. The reason being, we don't want to have to go back out in a year from now and raise more capital and dilute your equity or our equity.
What's your
anymore.
number?
At 25%, we
100,000.
get closer to $350,000.
Dang. 50.
I would give you $100,000 in cash and $250 in credit.
Okay.
For 25%.
That's a hell of a deal, guys.
Yeah,
Great.
I agree.
Love
Heck
that.
of a
Win-win.
deal.
Barbara, I think we got a deal.
Nice.
Guess what?
Nice.
Slide on over. I'll just slide on over.
Shane's been waiting the whole day.
And I like the fact that, right, he's definitely been waiting all day to do that. I want to bring it back on myself because it seems like Barbara, a lot of times when I think Barbara is, the things that I'm learning from Barbara is kind of stay within your lane. A lot of times when you get techie or whatnot, you kind of lose Barbara on these kind of techie inventions. And obviously people like maybe Mike Rubin and Mark Cuban, they're more so techie, and even Rob. But it seems like those techie inventions, she doesn't mess around with them. But when you have something that she understands and she can get with, I think that's when she is more apt to make a deal. And just that, I think that's a good lesson for all investors out there when you're giving money. Make sure you understand the product, understand the business. And I like that. I like the fact that kind of Barbara made these guys a deal, that they did get a deal. And again, Barbara's like, hey, I don't necessarily need to make a killing on these guys, but as long as I can make some money. What they say, I think in Godfather, as long as I can get my beak wet, let me just get my beak wet. I think that was Godfather too. So let's go check out their website, see what that's doing, and kind of wrap this one up. Let's see here. Go back to the beginning here. So as seen on Shark Tank, man, I actually like, man, to the extent I'll try to pull up the utility patent. I wasn't able to do it in time, but to the extent that they have a utility patent, and to their point, they were able to kind of a little bit more clearly describe what was going on towards the end, as far as kind of what the utility patent covers, as opposed to saying it covers everything. It seems like it's a detachable strap for a slide, and to the extent that they have that on, is kind of narrow, but it has that much teeth on it. I think that's a solid patent. If it's for a shoe sole with a detachable strap, I think that's amazing. I love the customizable feature. Man, again, people these days are paying a ton of money for for just shoes in general. So $50, $60 for a customizable slide, I don't think that's bad at all. And I know the Sharks kind of mentioned that maybe being a little bit more, especially for a personalized. We all know personalized products cost a little bit more. So $60 for a personalizable slide, or a customizable slide that you can personalize. That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, I like the fact that they have the trademark. You see, at least the logo, it seems like it's an H and a Y or whatnot. They have that trademark. I'm not sure why the word hype. I seem like they should have been able to trademark that. Maybe they do, but they're not just showing it. But I like the fact when you're saying that, hey, we're trademarking our terms. Our terms are trademark, or we're using them in a trademark sense. So kind of be aware. Typically, you see at the bottom here when they have the patent. Obviously, they talked about having a patent. I like to see not only it saying patent at the bottom that we have a patent, but put the patent number on here. If it's patent pending, put patent pending. But to the extent that you have an issued patent, put the issued patent on there. Let potential infringers, just people know, hey, we're protecting our product. And to the extent that you want to try to infringe, we're going to come after you. Let me see about the sizzle. I know sometimes they have it on these other, I guess, tabs or websites. I mean, tabs or customized shipping and returns. I'm not seeing it. Let's go up top here. Overtime, creator series. Have a lot of other stuff, but I guess I'm not seeing something that I think it'll be on. So yeah, that's the only thing I would say to these guys is, try to put the pan on the website at the bottom there, put the pan number. I think that will be helpful. Kind of let people know, man, you guys are the real deal. You guys are going to protect your product, are protecting the product and will enforce the patent if need be. So what do you guys think? Now, this was an interesting one. I thought it started slow, but when they had this kind of detachable strap, I thought, that's pretty interesting. And the fact that they have a utility patent on that is even more interesting. I think kudos for these guys for doing a deal with Barber. I can definitely see myself I actually may go purchase one of these things today. I can definitely see myself being a customer with the strap, especially if I can customize with business names or my favorite teams, or kind of being able to kind of swap them out. I mean, I think that's something that'd be interesting on. I would imagine that the strap, it stays secure. And the fact that these guys have experience in the footwear industry, I would imagine that the product has some quality to it as well. 30 years, I think they said, experience in the footwear industry. I would imagine that it has some product to it. Kudos for these guys. I would try to get these guys on the platform, on my show, kind of do on a podcast and kind of do an interview with these guys, kind of see their journey and how this came to be. I'm always interested in hearing how people have maybe navigated the waters and have come to kind of be an entrepreneur. That's always an amazing thing. So kudos to these guys. Until next time,